You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to the Living Full Out Show. My name is Nancy Solari. So excited to be with you here today. We're going to be talking about identifying your natural talents. So we all have that. We just may not know it, right? It's to be discovered. And sometimes our friends will tell us, you're so good at that. Or we'll just find that at a job, we're so passionate, but it doesn't even feel like a job. It's like something we just enjoy doing. That is how you recognize and find your natural talents. Now, today we have a very special inspirational guest we'll be bringing to you, George Dennehy. Believe it or not, he has no arms, but he plays the piano, he plays the guitar, all of these with his toes. How does he do that? He's going to share his story with us. Also, we'll be taking your calls. Standing by, I'll be giving you the coaching advice that you may need to move forward and be able to follow your passions and find those natural talents. Now, if you do need to hear today's show again, just to get re-inspired, go to livingfullout.com. You can click on our radio show tab, and all the episodes will be waiting there for you. Also, make sure to check us out on Alexa, or you can go to the App Store and just check out for Living Full Out Radio. Now, finding, identifying your natural talents. How do we do that? So I want you to think about over the course of the show, what do you really enjoy doing? Hey, even if you enjoy sleeping, believe it or not, that is a talent, right? Let's say you enjoy cooking. Maybe you could find a way to take that and give back to others. You could cook for people who are homeless. You could work with people that, may need to learn how to cook. I know for me, being visually impaired, believe it or not, there are times that I've had somebody come help me cook. If you can't see, how do you know the eggs are done, right? I had to learn methods over time. And so I turned to somebody who was an excellent cook, and she was able to give me some good guidance. So you just never know where those natural talents will come in handy. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy. This is Tracy. How are you doing today?
I am great, Tracy. How can I help you today?
Thank you. So you just got me thinking about natural abilities, and I've had a lifelong hobby with photography, and love taking pictures. And I have had the ability, like you're saying, of looking for a place that it might be able to help with supporting some nonprofit social media. And some little video clips, but the problem I'm having is when I'm trying to use the photography more for family and friends, I tend to take lots of photos and just have them sitting in files and folders and then years of boxes, and I didn't know if there's a way that you could advise me when it is when it's for someone that I really care about. I seem to not be able to give them as gifts like I would like to, but I just tend to hold on to them, and I'm not sure why it's easier to do it for a volunteer than it is for a family or friend gift.
Great question. So here's the thing. The great news is, as beautiful as your photos are and as talented as you are in doing all that you do for nonprofits as well as your family and friends, there's going to be others that have taken the same walk that you have. Okay, I am sure that other photographers, videographers, you name it, right? There's a fine line between work and friends, and how do you manage that? But also, how do you keep yourself organized? How do you set a rate for one person and free for another? How do you dedicate a full day, but yet sometimes you restrict it to a couple of hours? And what I would encourage you to do is to go on to LinkedIn. That's a good resource. And just kind of meet other photographers. And, it's not so much about, asking about their craft, although you can, but just kind of finding out their story. How did they get to where they are? How did they build their business? How did they keep themselves organized? Have you done that yet?
I have not, and I've used LinkedIn for other things, and that would be absolutely wonderful. I really didn't think about using it for my hobby.
Well, it is a great way to go. Also, in-person networking groups are also good. And that might be a great way for you to meet people professionally for yourself also, but maybe there's another photographer. Just kind of opening your eyes to what is possible. I mean, you obviously have a great heart. You're clearly good at what you do. It's just kind of organizing yourself as to where you want to take this. Do you want to keep it primarily as a hobby? Would you like to take the work that you do for nonprofits and maybe segue this into more of a business? Sky's the limit. It's just kind of figuring out what does that look like. But the good news is the hard part, which is the talent overall, you got it. Everybody wants it. You're in high demand, right? So that is the hardest part. Everything else will just come in time. Okay. But I encourage you to check out LinkedIn and just think of all the photographers on there that could give you great advice. I mean, there's so many people all around the world.
That I will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for calling in. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. So I'm so glad that she asked that question, right? Because it is sometimes hard. We get so excited about something, and even if it's for a friend, but how do we know if we're exerting too much energy? How do we know if we're maybe putting too much of our own input in? Should we be asking them like we would ask a client? So many questions, but I know she's going to find great answers, and I hope she lets us know what she finds out. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do another caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi there.
My question is I'm about to graduate in the next coming year, and I was just wondering, how can I balance the academic stress and graduating strong while actively pursuing the employment for once I'm graduated and the anxiety with that as well?
That is a really great question. Now, I have good news and bad news. What do you want first?
I love the good news first.
You get a choice. Good news first. Okay, I like that. Okay, so the good news is this time will pass. Okay, it is a crazy time. I remember being back at the University of Oregon and having multiple internships and getting my degree and keeping your eye on the ball as to what's next, right? It is a exhausting time, and this will pass. But what you have to make sure that you do during this time is self-care, okay? Because if you burn yourself out, if you whittle yourself down to nothing and you exert all this energy, then you know what? You're going to get sick. You're going to get the flu. You might be even too tired to enjoy your graduation, right? You might find that you're running late because you woke up late. So it's really important that you just try to space things out. Say, you know what? I need an hour in between commitments. That's what I need. I need time for myself, and respect that time. Now, the bad news is that there will be other exhausting times. The school of life, I think, is way more fun than even college. The stakes get higher, right? The bills are coming in, whether you like them or not, right? You have bosses, you have demands, you have quotas, you name it. So in some ways, the ante is going to get upped and it's going to get even more intense. So the skills that you learn now, the natural talents that you have to manage these stresses, they're going to carry you into the future, into managing those other anxieties. So what you want to identify now is, gosh, what does give me relief? Is it a 20-minute power nap? Okay, what gives me relief? Is it making sure that I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning, but nothing after 3 because I stay up too late? Is it having that go-to friend that I can call midday and just get silly with and like break up the anxiety? Find out what that is now so you're preparing yourself for the future. Okay?
Definitely. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling in, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So I love that she asked that question, right? Because it's one thing to have this great, awesome talent that it's just a natural gift and we just love doing it. But it's so easy to get burnt out. And especially when you do something that you love and there's that fine line between work and passion, we can go and go and go. And then before you know it, it's 2 a.m., right? Or sometimes, we exert ourselves in different ways. So it's really important. The key to living full out is making sure that you have spacing, making sure that you value your time, self-care. That is kind of the secret sauce to making sure that everything can get done and that you're doing your best. So stay with us. We're going to be coming right back with George Dennehy. Again, born with no arms, yet has played with so many talented musicians, playing with his toes. How does he do that? Stay with us. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and it is all about tapping into and identifying those natural talents that if you could do it for a living, you would just smile every day, right? Let's figure out what that is. Let's exert those talents, bring it out to the world, and live your life full out in a big way. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
Hi, professional skateboarder Tony Hawk here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have the energy to skate through anything.
Nice play on words, Doc.
That's how I roll, Bugs. So whether you like to work the half pipe,
now that's catching air,
kick the soccer ball around, or dance in your room,
just move it your way.
For an hour a day.
The way you like to move, as long as you're moving.
Carve out some time every day and get active. Because it's time to do a 180 on what you think exercise is.
Because it can be whatever you want it to be. So be a player.
Be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At www.letsmove.gov. Let's hear that one more time, Doc. That's www.letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. At 7 I shower. Every day I wake up
For
at
those
5.
caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm Sarah, and this is my story.
I'm Ellen, and this is my story.
One night, I was at a bar. I was having fun with my friends.
I
had one too many drinks.
I
got behind the wheel to go home.
I got a cab to go home.
All of a sudden, from out of nowhere, a squirrel ran across the road. It happened so quickly, I barely had time to react.
The cabbie barely had time to react.
I swerved.
The cab swerved.
I can't believe it. I hit a guy.
I cannot believe it. The cabbie just missed a guy.
I wish I took a cab.
Thank goodness I took a cab.
You have the choice to save a life. Don't drive buzzed. It's a decision you'll never regret. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
If you think depression is all in a person's head, you're right. It's a brain illness. And like other illnesses, it has symptoms. Depression can make those who suffer from it feel hopeless. It can even lead to suicide. Learn how to stop depression from taking another life. Call SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, 1-888-511-SAVE, on the web at save.org.
I'm Alec Baldwin. Like any parent, I'm concerned about children's health. Many kids don't eat as they should and are at risk for long-term health problems like diabetes and heart disease. But here's good news. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and other low-fat vegetarian foods can protect our kids and keep the rest of the family healthy too. For a free booklet, call the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at 1-877-685-KIDS or visit www.kidsgethealthy.org.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about identifying your natural talents so that we can really get excited about life, right? And it's no longer just a job. It's no longer just a hobby. It's just what you love to do. And that's what we want to find out. Now, we brought you a very special inspirational guest today, George Dennehy. Special for so many reasons, but born with no arms did not hold him back. He had to source through life, feeling it through, finding his natural talents, but boy, did he. He has become a musician that has played with so many well-recognized bands. He plays with his toes, the guitar, the piano, the cello, you name it. So I'd very much like to welcome George to the show.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, nice to have you on. I was so excited for today. I mean, not only are you like such a nice person, I mean, really, in the nice person category, George, you are up there, okay? But, I mean, also in kind of the wow factor of a story, you're on the top of that list too. You're probably a list topper in many ways. But I know that you were originally born in Romania and you spent, the first several years of your life in an orphanage. You were put up for adoption. And, you were malnourished. You weren't given the care that you should have. And then finally the day came when you got adopted. Who eventually adopted you?
Yeah, that's right. As you said, I was in an orphanage for the first 2 years of my life, and I was abandoned and malnourished and just not taken care of. But I was adopted by my parents, Mike and Sharon Dennehy. They had 3 kids of their own, and were looking into adoption and how to help orphans, and that led them to me.
And I'm sure you were a cute kid, right? Cute adult, cute kid, right? But you had no arms. Did you ever ask them, Mom, Dad, why'd you choose me?
Yeah, I've often wondered, and I remember being a child and asking them how they found me and why they picked me, and their answer was that they believed that they were called to adopt me because I had potential. Even though I don't have arms, they believe that I had a purpose. And sometimes all it takes is just for someone to believe in you, for you to find your purpose.
I love that. And I want everybody to take that in because that's a very powerful statement. Everybody can believe in somebody. We can believe in somebody. And it can really be a game changer. And they really advanced your life more. I mean, you could have died. Just rest, in that orphanage. So we're so glad
absolutely.
that they took that step. Now, I know for most of your life, up to like age 12 or 13, you knew you were adopted. Obviously, you had no arms, but the family loved you anyway. And you were George. You were just loving life. But what happened at that 12, 13 years when you first started actually a public school? Or, I know that you started to be bullied by other people.
Yeah, that's right. As a kid, life was pretty just easygoing. Things flowed really well, and I just fit in with my family and my church, and just lived in a very very nice life. And but as you said, middle school came around and high school came around, and most people struggle a lot through those years, as it is. Mm-hmm. And most people struggle with fitting in and being picked on for a number of different reasons, and I was no different. Kids would pick on me for not having arms, and they would make fun of me because I would use my feet to write, and I would, just eat with my feet at lunch, and kids would give me all these nasty looks, and they would joke around and call me names, and this bullying kind of carried on through the next couple of years for me, and it was definitely a very trying time for me.
Well, I wouldn't go back to high school if somebody paid me. I mean, I just, no way. I mean, it's a tough time. Middle school is even harder, right? Now,
Right.
You were born with no arms. You've chosen to go through your life with no arms. But in the early years, did you ever try a prosthetic arms? Did you ever think, well, maybe I will do that?
Yeah, I did try a prosthetic arm when I was very little, and that wasn't really by way of choice. That was actually my parents kind of just exploring options because, when they adopted me, they weren't experts in taking care of a child with special needs or anything. So they had probably just as many questions as I did. Mm-hmm. So, one of those avenues of, well, maybe this might work was prosthetics. But as it turns out, I ended up, from my memory, really disliking the prosthetic arm that I was, having to use and pick up things with. And I worked with a physical therapist, and it was just a lot of work when I remember at one of my appointments, I was using the prosthetic arm to try to pick up something like a toy, and I just ended up picking it up with my foot really fast, where it would have taken me, 3 times longer with that prosthetic arm. And so I just decided I don't need this. I do everything with my feet.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I can respect that. And so, did you just finally make the judgment call? Listen, I'm not going to do this, or do you have today even a prosthetic on hand in case you need it, or just forgo it all?
No, I don't at all. Yeah, I haven't used a prosthetic since back then. But sometimes I think about how far technology has come. Right? I mean, I know nowadays they have prosthetics that attach to your brain, and there's really not much of a difference. So I sometimes think about it, but I'd rather not just relearn everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it'd almost be more work to have to use a prosthetic than just living life how I do now.
Yeah, and I imagine it was you had to kind of find your way. Find your way to learning how to get dressed with no arms, how to eat with no arms,
right?
And have you found that you need to stay limber? You need to work out because you use your feet so much, and they have to go up to your head all the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the thought would be that I would need to do stretches and exercise, and I'd like to say that I exercise all the time, and I try to, just for myself. But as far as staying flexible and dexterous, I really believe that just kind of stays up to date just by me living normal life, by just reaching things in the fridge or driving my car with one foot on the wheel and one foot on the gas and brake. So I don't really do exercises or stretches to keep myself able to do things. I think just me doing those things keeps me able.
Keeps you able. Well, there's something to be said for that, right? I mean, don't give up, everybody, because, even the walk, even a gentle stretch or anything we do keeps us that limber stage. So, George, I want you to stay with us. We're going to go to a break, but there's so much more to your story that I want to share. And so we'll be right back. And everybody, I want you to think about today, as George was born with no arms, he slowly found out the natural talents of how to use his toes, his feet, his eyes, his mind, right? Even though we may not have, every function at our fingertips or, our toes or our mind, we have ways that we can get things done despite any limitation. So as we move forward to the show, think about what are your natural talents? How can we increase that and have you live full out in a big way? We'll be right back after this break. I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. Stay with us.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, Use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan, and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee, and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show. I am excited to let you know that we are now associated with Alexa. If you have Alexa in your house and you didn't know that, go ahead and find Living Full Out because you can hear us anytime you want, and we're there for you to keep you motivated. Go to your app store because we're located there as well. Just look for the Living Full Out radio show. It's important to us that we put out really inspiring programming, but we want to make sure that you have it at your fingertips when you need us most. We never know when those challenges are going to come, when we're going to feel lonely and need that motivation. So just know that when you need us, we're here for you. Check out Alexa, the app stores, or go to livingfullout.com. Here's to you living full out.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show, and we're talking about identifying your natural talents. And our inspirational guest today, George Dennehy, has done that times 10, right? He's like an amazing example of what it means to live full out. So I'd like to welcome George back to the show. Hi, George.
Hi, thank you.
Hi. Hey, so there's so much I want to get to in this segment, but I do want to touch on briefly. How do you do like basic things with no arms? Like I know you use your toes, but like and your feet, but like how do you get dressed? How do you do certain things?
Yeah, I mean, I do everything that everybody else does with my feet, but I guess specifically getting dressed. I'll sit down and take my shirt and just kind of throw it over my head, and then kind of just stand up and maneuver myself to get the shirt down all the way, or just pull the shirt down with my foot.
Wow.
But yeah, just kind of find my own way to do everything that everybody else does.
Yeah, and again, I think it's amazing that you're able to do so many things. And when you're out and about, I mean, you have your own way of eating with your feet and toes and all that, but how do you handle the times when you might be in public and people stare? I mean, we all think you're amazing and you know you're amazing, but there's always going to be those people that just kind of watch and are in awe. What do you do with that?
Yeah, I used to be really self-conscious about that, being out in public or at a restaurant and eating with my feet, and people might give me a weird look, or people's kids might give me a weird look. I used to just be very, self-conscious about that, and maybe even ashamed. But nowadays, that doesn't bother me at all. Actually, I think I just know people are curious. Even I notice somebody who's different from me. So I think that's just how we are programmed, is to notice somebody who's different. So when people give me an odd look or ask me a question, I kind of see it in a light of I almost have a platform just from being different to just maybe make somebody's day. So if somebody gives me a weird look, maybe I'll say hi to them or wave at them. Or if they ask me a question, then I'll engage in just a conversation with them. And maybe I could be the highlight of someone's day.
You've become a master at diffusing those awkward moments, right? Isn't that funny how a simple smile or wave can break that weirdness? I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, using those moments for the better, or just for a funny moment.
Absolutely.
Make a joke out of it.
Now, put aside getting dressed and eating and all that with your toes and feet. How do you play the guitar, the piano, the cello? How did you learn to do that with your feet? Because, I'm learning guitar now, and I thought about you before this show, and I tried to do it with my toes, and my guitar fell on the floor, and I was like, So how do you do that?
That's actually funny that you say that, because step one is putting the guitar on the floor. So it's a good thing your guitar fell to the floor, because that's how I play it. So I play my guitar laying on the floor on a kind of a sticky mat so it doesn't slide around. And I hold the pick, or I just pluck the notes with one foot, being my left foot, and then I do the chords and the notes with my other foot.
Wow.
And I learned to do that back in high school. Music was definitely like a therapy for me, kind of a place I could go to and kind of just express myself when I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere else.
Yeah, music is special like that, huh? It just kind of has a way of just going right to the heart, right to the soul. And
absolutely.
And I'm curious. I tried to get a piano and I gave up at an early age, but I remember sitting on that bench and, not the most comfortable thing, but here you are on this bench playing with your toes. Again, it kind of goes back to me, the awe factor, how flexible you are. Do you just play it normally, or do you have a tall chair that you use?
For the most part, I really just sit on the bench and kind of balance myself. And it's kind of like doing one long sit up. But that's okay.
Wow.
And I'll just usually play. It would be easier, and I have played on a piano on a tall stool, so I'm kind of more looking down at the piano rather than being level with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most of the time I do just play on a normal piano bench and just reach up with both legs on the keys.
One thing that I really appreciate about you, so many things, but just the one thing I'll say for sure, is that you've always tried to do things the normal way, whatever normal is. But, sitting on the bench or, even driving, you had the option of outfitting a vehicle so that you could do it differently, or finding a way to do it normally, and you chose normal. And where does that determination come in?
Yeah, that whole, I guess, side of me and facing challenges in that way. I used to live my life just feeling very defeated and feeling like there's no way I could do that, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. But there was a shift in my way of thinking and my perception. And I really feel like our perception of things is so important because that kind of trickles out into how we carry ourselves and how we live. So eventually I kind of changed my perception into, I'll never really know if I can do something or not until I try, until I really try, and then try again and try again. So, learning to drive a car and playing the guitar in standard tuning, the same tuning as everybody else. I really just want to see, well, let's see if I can be done. Let's see if I can do this. So driving a car with no modifications, that was really just a decision. Because like you said, it would have been maybe easier to have a car modified and have everything maybe on the floor for me. But I thought about how that would be really expensive for my parents, and then later in life probably for me, and then also that would limit me to one car. So now I can drive every car so long as it's automatic.
I love that. Again, you took your power back. You're like, I'm not going to let having no arms, defeat me or make me do things different or more in a more expensive way. I'm going to figure it out. And that seems to be how you've always done it. You've always figured it out. And you also figured out how to take your natural talent for playing with your toes into a career. And you had a shining moment. Can you share with us about when the Goo Goo Dolls saw your cover video?
Yeah. I've always loved music, and from a young age, I knew I wanted to pursue it and possibly do it as a career. But of course, that is one of those thoughts where, like, you think, oh, it'd be so cool to do that, but there's no way, But then I reminded myself, that's not part of my vocabulary anymore. I can't, and there's no way that those words don't exist for me anymore. So I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know, what road I would take or where I need to play or who I need to try to meet to make music a career. But I just did what I love and played wherever I could. So I ended up playing at a festival here in my hometown in Richmond, Virginia, and I played. One of my songs was just Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. And somebody took a video of that, and that video went online. And the Goo Goo Dolls ended up seeing that video and invited me to play with them and open up for them in front of a crowd of 10,000 people. And that was kind of a beginning, the beginning moment for my just music endeavors.
It's really special, George, to think about this little infant in the orphanage in Romania. And here you are playing, you're opening for the Goo Goo Dolls in front of thousands of people. I mean, that's a pinch me moment. Yeah. I mean, it's unreal. And I hope and why I do what I do, because I hope that I can encourage people who may be at the lowest point of their life and think there's no way they can make it out, and tell them, it's possible. You just got to put in that effort and follow that dream. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your story, and I just want to ask you, what does living full out mean to you?
Living full out to me means taking every single day and just making the most of it. We're here in this moment in our lives, and I believe that every day is a gift. I believe that every moment we have here on earth is just an absolute gift, and we shouldn't let our disabilities or our struggles or challenges get the best of us, but we should learn to overcome those things and learn to live full out through them.
I love that. And your story speaks to so many different groups of people. So, I have my disability of being blind, and you have no arms, and I'm with you on the you can't say those words anymore. And also for budding musicians who are abled or disabled, right? You never want to give up on your dream. Anything is possible. And I really appreciate you just standing up in the world and sharing your voice and in your talent. And everybody go check out George online. I mean, seeing his videos, I can't see them because I can't see them literally, but my team has been watching lots of your audios and videos, and so you are amazing. So thank you so much for being on today's show.
Oh, well thank you so much for having me and for allowing me to speak and to be a part of this.
Absolutely. Thank you, George. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
And for everybody listening today, I mean, again, George found out by having no arms, I'm going to play guitar. I'm going to do things with my toes and my feet. Oh my gosh, years later, I'm opening for the Goo Goo Dolls. My dream did come true, right? I think it's really important that we don't lose sight of our dreams, that we keep stepping forward every day, get resourceful, right? There's so many little nuggets to how we get to where we are in life. But most of all, be patient. And if you don't know what that natural skill or talent is, I want you to call in. I'm still taking calls throughout the show. And I also want you to know that you can reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com so that we can give you the resources and the support that you need. So coming up in our next segment, we'll be taking your calls. It's all about finding your natural talents, living your life full out in a big way. It is never too late. Let's turn a new page. Let's step forward. Let's do it together. Let's live full out. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human. And she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment. Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Mom, what? Huh? What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my dog a bath. You can have pictures of that. Pressure gives me hives. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. Hold on, let me ask my mom. Sorry, my webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. Unfortunately, I just had my clothes surgically attached to my body. If they got out, I might never be president. I'm already naked, under my clothes. Not even if you were all three Jonas Brothers. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. The more you ask, the less I want to. You're not the boss of me. Nudity makes me vomit. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
Be a football
I want to
stadium.
be a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
What? What about our plan to win the lottery and start living? You know, travel the world on matching yachts, wear enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacation on the French Riviera, and then buy it.
You know we're never going to win the lottery, right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
To find your natural talents means that you look inside yourself. What brings you joy? What do you naturally love to do? And then take that and consider, how can I take that talent and make other people's world easier, better, make them happy? Could it be something I could do to make money? It is never too late to live full out and follow your passions.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we've been talking about identifying your natural talents and then taking that and running with it. Literally, that is the Living Full Out spirit, is to really just go, go, go. But enjoy what you're doing. You know, you want to look back on your life and have all these winning moments that make, put a smile to your face, right? So if you're kind of going through life and you're like, ugh, it's a job and I'm bored and I'm exhausted, then we need to radically shake this up, right? But you need to find a way to take what you're naturally good at that just beams it from inside out, and let's find a way to take that and make it into a career, or do that, daily, so that it breaks up, the commitments, the responsibilities, so that you feel like you're not just, living to work, but, you're actually enjoying life. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi. So I have a question about my transition back from my second year at college. I'm living back at home now, and I'm finally spending more and more time with my family, which is something that I've been missing. But I've been noticing I'm getting super irritable around them, and it's showing, and it's starting to negatively impact my relationship with them, and it's just not the atmosphere that I want to be having. So I'm trying to figure out how I should manage both these feelings of irritability with people who I care about and not creating a bad environment. So that's why I was calling.
Well, first of all, thank you for calling in, because that is not you, right? You're like, what am I doing? This is not me, right? And what I want you to consider is a couple things, okay? Whether you believe in God, the universe, a higher power, whatever, sometimes in life we get little nudges. It's almost like a poke in the belly, right? If you were not ever irritable and it was smooth sailing and perfect every day, you might never move out, right? You might never go and experience new things. But sometimes life does have a way of poking us in the side and letting that irritability come out, not as a negative on you or a negative on them. It's just life's way of saying, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't stay home tonight. Go out, do something fun. Or you know what? Let's make a plan so you can move out and get your own place. Because otherwise it would be super easy to just be comfortable, complacent, and just be, right? So that's one thing I want you to think about, is the next time you get irritated, ask yourself, maybe this is like a little nudge and I should go to a different place, go out, go see a friend, consider moving out, whatever. And that's only during the times that you get irritable, okay? Now, the second thing I want you to consider is how you handle this moment, how you handle the anxieties of work, life, family, friends, all these moments where they're irritating you, this is when you get the life skills to prepare yourself for future irritabilities, right? So you want to manage it now. So let's say, for example, it's a sibling or it's a parent and somebody is just nagging on you and they're in your face, right? Then you're going to learn right now self-care tips for yourself. Like maybe this is a time when you go and play music. Maybe this is a time when you need to go for a run. You know, maybe this is a time when there's certain songs that kind of pull you out of a funk. Do you see what I'm saying? So if we never had these moments, we would never learn how to manage them, how to cope with them. So actually, all of this is a good thing because it's making you evolve and be a better you. Do you see that?
Yeah, thank you for the insight.
So bring on the irritable times, bring on the hardships, right? Because that's the only way that you learn and you get better. The game of life is not about being perfect, everything being smooth sailing. It's about cracking the code of life. It's about troubleshooting. And so the next time someone nags at you, say, thank you. This is an opportunity for me to do something else. Gotta go. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling in. And for everybody listening today, so many great questions we've had. And of course, George Dennehy, check him out online. But all of us have the ability to figure out what are our natural gifts and talents that, just make us really enjoy life. I want you to consider one or two of those today for yourself and go do it and figure out how you can do that more regularly. Or if you want to make a career out of it, let's do that. Reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com because we'll make sure that you are supported and that you have the resources to live full out in your life. Our entire Living Full Out family thanks you. We have in the studio here Aaron and Rich and John and Juliana and the name list goes on and on. Giovanni, Riley and Ella. And the reason why I share the team members with you is because the thing is you are not alone. Living Full Out, it's not about getting to the top of the mountain and saying, I've done it all by myself. The entire Living family is here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, here's to you living your life full out.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.